Google has just changed the way that 30 million people browse the internet, and most of them don't even know it's happened. Let's talk about Google and cookies. Since the dawn of time, Google has used little bits of tracking code to follow us around the internet. And by the dawn of time, I mean 1998, and by little bits of tracking code, I mean cookies. The thing I love about cookies is that they clearly had a meeting and went, what is the most innocuous thing we could call them that nobody is ever going to reject? Cookies? You've nailed it, me in a hat. No American has ever turned down a cookie. Okay, so basically cookies are ground zero for privacy issues online. They also keep you logged in on websites. I know that, so put your keyboards away. But for this video, we're going to focus on just how it impacts your privacy. In recent years, governments and people have started to get annoyed by the unregulated advertising marketplace that we happen to be living in. And if this is the first time you've considered that, it must be your first time to this channel. In which case, hit the subscribe button, motherfucker! Google wants to get ahead of any legislation before they're made to get rid of cookies, and that began today. I say today, it happened a few weeks ago. I'm sorry, I've been very busy. I'm a bit behind. Also, I know it's off topic, but whoever chose this image deserves a raise. From today, 1% of Chrome users will no longer be using cookies. That's about 30 million people. You'll never know if it was you because you probably don't care and you haven't noticed. Google has also confirmed that they'll be phasing out cookies entirely by the end of 2024. But how will Google make money? Great question, me in another hat, but you're in black and white, so it's quite hard to tell. Somebody should think of the billion-dollar corporations who will now have to come up with another bit of technology to track us all over the internet, but be slightly better in terms of privacy. And I can't tell you how hard this video is to make because all I'm doing is spelling this cookie. The TLDR here is that Chrome browsers will now track you all over the internet, but the data will stay on your computer or phone. So if I want to advertise a hat to you, I'd have to ask Chrome on your phone what topics you're interested in, and they would tell me if you're interested in what I have to sell. This has the plus point that I can't exactly see what you've been doing online, give or take, but it will still make a data profile on you. And remember, data profiles are far more accurate and useful when it comes to advertising. Shockingly, Google is a for-profit company, so this is actually just an exercise in self-interest. All of this knocks out a third-party cookie's abilities to track users online. In other words, they've got rid of a lot of their very small competition. It means people will have to rely on Google to profile users for targeted advertising. So in many ways, this headline is misleading because they're not technically disabled. Google has just disabled third-party cookies, but they're still able to track you. Why does this feel so familiar? Great question, me in a hat. That really helps keep the video narrative moving. In 2022, Google tried a similar thing on Android, but that also fell flat. The basic idea here is good. Your data stays on your device, and if they want access to it, they have to ask you explicitly for that. And Google calls this privacy sandboxing. The problem here is that last bit, because you're not the gatekeeper to your data. Google still is. Tim Berners-Lee, the internet's daddy, has been working on a similar solution called Solid. The big difference between Google's solution and Solid is in Solid, your data would sit in your digital wallet that you control. You can give out your data to whoever you want. Google, Facebook, another website that doesn't make billions selling your data to advertisers. And only they will be allowed to see it until you take their access away. Basically, consent is key, and if you want to learn more about this concept, I've done a full video which you can find here. Currently, the only way to avoid Google tracking you is to uninstall their Chrome browser.